Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospect, and welcome to another Tuesday Night Gold Painting Fever, episode number 213, where tonight we're going to be going through some Paydirt from my new 2025 Champion Gold Nugget sales. I don't know if this is the exact bag we're going to go through or not. I have two of them, I haven't decided which one, but let me catch up on chat real quick, say hi to everyone. Backyard prospecting in the house. How's it going? I saw your last video with the sulfactant. That looks pretty good. I had to order a bottle of it. So usually, usually I just stick with the jet drive. I had to order a bottle to check it out. Trying to remember what the old one that Lynch Mining's buddy used to have. Leprechaun spit. That's like the last time anyone's made one. It's been a while since anyone's come out with a new one. No, sorry, cat. Getting on my nerves. Oh no, my Paydirts are falling. All right, who else is here? WD9UFO, how's it going? PA Patro, what's up, brother? How's it going? Thank you for being here and being a mod. Bush Wookie, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. And Northern Nevada Gold, yeah, they're one of my favorites. I might actually have some on the shelf. I have some on the shelf right here. John Gear, how's it going? Michael, Kristen Reed, how are y'all doing? Thank you for joining the show. Dino Littlehale, Joey Brown. Wes, what's up? Very early. Stephen LeBlanc, how's it going? Those Left Behind, how's it going? Shane Prothero, that was a good video that Mike put out. It was a good one. A lot of stuff he got. Casey String, how's it going? Sean McClelland, Aaron Mack, how's it going? Chat's moving too fast now. Oh, yeah. They gave you a notification? I don't get my notifications till the next day. Mentally Corrupted, how's it going? I am Zaxon. Zaxworth, how's it going? Rich Peterson, SRIP63, Alan Curie, what's up, brother? Thank you for staying up late and joining the show as always. Liz is Caitlin. You said Kate, even though it's Caitlin. Liz and Caitlin, thank you for joining the show. Thank you very much, Donna. How are you, Donna? Hopefully you're feeling well for this Christmas season. Hopefully you've been doing better. Thank you for joining the show as always. You know I appreciate you. HD, what's up? Dragos, how's it going? David Stocks, thank you for being here, and thank you all for being mods. Thank you to all my mods, which generally means you're a $79 tier member on my Patreon or been here a really, really long time. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. David Hamilton, who else? Chris W. Thank you all for joining the show, and Merry Christmas to everyone. I know it's not Christmas yet, but in 2 days you will all be opening up bags of treasure underneath your Christmas trees. Hopefully lots of Paydirt. Jeff Bose, Jason G, thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. All right, let's pop out chat. I am still getting over my little cold. I don't know if you could hear it in the last video. Still kind of stuffed up. Bradley, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. So if I sound a little sinusy, it's just, being down in a damp basement while you're already sick is kind of, getting my passages. But I have some hot coffee here, so. While I hear my Paydirt, I was just messing with it, and I hear one of the bags is sliding down the shelf, and it's driving me crazy. I don't know which one it is. Just give it time, I am. Just give it time. Someone will start banning you. Beerman, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. So, but just in case somebody didn't watch my last video or didn't just click on it and skip to the very end to see who the champion was for my 2023 Paydirt champion, who the best Paydirt seller is, without a big surprise, it was Gold Nugget Sales, who has been in the top 4 every single battle he's been here. We're going to be either going through one of 2 bags. Originally, when I was doing this battle and I was ordering a bag of Paydirt, I kind of had a hint on who would be the top 2. And I figured it'd either be Mike or Mike from Vendetta Prospecting and Gold Nugget Sales. So I ordered this, and I had this sitting on my shelf just in case either one won. I kind of had a guaranteed bag to pan out with both of them on the cover. So depending on how this one is, this is the chunky. Might be pretty quick to pan through. We might do both bags, but I think this was a Christmas present from, this was my only bag of Paydirt I got as a Christmas present this year. So we're going to be panning this out. Because I want to see what's inside, so. And there's Mike. How's it going, Mike? Thank you for joining the show. Rocky Mountain Prospector, thank you for joining the show. A3 Sky Warrior, how's it going? Hopefully you're doing well. Enjoying your family and the farm. Ordered a bag from all four of them. They're all great sellers. They're all great sellers. You would not be going wrong with any of them, so. I'm betting there's an ounce of gold in that bag. In this one, I don't know. It doesn't weigh that much. I don't know. I think it's a 3-grammer, so it's a 3-pound bag. So isn't that how it goes? He only sells a chunky in 3 grams too, I think. So, but no. Gold is now to my budget at $145. Yeah, I've been worried these weekends. It seems to be, I don't know why, but every Friday we seem to go into this thing where gold's been equal, staying around. Then Monday comes and Monday seems to be the day that it's going crazy. Did my camera freeze or did YouTube freeze? I think my camera froze. Or gold's been equal, staying around. Then Monday comes and what Monday. All right, everything just froze up on my laptop. So, all right, there we go. Yeah, gold is on a tear. So you were all panicky. We talked about it. You were panicky, and you came out with the little 1/4 grammers, but it seems to be worth it now. The gold is going back up, so now it's good to have them on stock. So. But yeah, gold is going on another little tear for Christmas. So I think it's just trying to hit, like 155 for the new year. So per gram, that is. So it's funny. Like whenever people talk about gold, everyone always talks in ounces. And the only way I know, like no matter what, all my searches, all my bookmarks are in grams. So everything to me is in grams. So I'll hear people saying like, oh, it hits 40 something K. I'm like, huh? What? I'm like, let me try to do the math in my head. No, I'm like, I need to look up grams. Yeah, silver is gone. What's funny is people in chat keep saying like gold is out of reach for them now. Silver is the one that's out of reach for me. See, I have Patreon members who support me so I can do these videos and then make Paydirts for them and give the gold, and I'm just like the middleman for the gold. So but to me, one of the things I stack a little bit for my kids is silver bars and stuff, silver rounds. I just got some, for Christmas, I got them some Australian 1-ounce dollars that had been graded. But now silver is too far for me. I can't afford paying $75 for an ounce of silver. That's just, I can't do that. At that price, I'm better off just getting some Paydirt, Yeah, I too use a small scale. Yeah, I just, Yeah, I will say I have had on a few occasions 1 ounce of gold in my hands, but unfortunately it was just passing through. It was usually somebody was sending me something and then telling me that rather quickly I had to send it back to them after I finished panning it out. David Danduran, Alaskan Assassin, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. And anyone, if I miss you, I apologize, but thank you very much for being here. And Merry Christmas to you all. I won't see you again until next Christmas, so... or until next Tuesday, which will be after Christmas. I'll see you before next Christmas, so. I would choose a gram of gold any day over that, so. Always going out the door. Yeah, that's what people always tell me. Like, I know somebody was asking me, what was it? There was somebody, you'll see every once in a while there'll be a Paydirt reviewer. I'm not going to name any names, but every once in a while you'll see a new Paydirt reviewer coming out and they'll show you their little piles of gold they're accumulating. And then after about a year, they just disappear because life happens and they no longer want to do Paydirt reviews or stuff like that. And you know that gold disappears. But when you can start doing this for a while, eventually you start like, okay, I got to get rid of the gold so I can do another review and I got to do this. So it's fleeting through the hands. But I've had a lot of people that will like message me or call me or text me and be like, dude, well, you need to do a video showing off all the gold you got. It's like, you don't understand. I don't get to keep all this stuff. It goes in one hand, out the other. It's, All right. All right, Rich. Appreciate it. Gold Baron Paydirt, thanks for joining the show. They're going to do gold plating. They're just going to go all back to gold plating. So that's yeah, all necklaces are going to be gold plated now. They're going to go back to that. So yeah. Yeah, PA. Coming soon, coming soon. I do need to finish. I did make up a banner for Miller for president. I need to finish it up. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like if I get a nice little nugget in a bag of Paydirt or something, I'll hold on to it for as long as I possibly can. But generally somewhere like everyone knows. December, I sold off all my nuggets and everything to pay for Christmas and stuff like that. Kids kids wanted Christmas presents, bills wanted to get paid. I always try to go into January as as debt free as possible. And everyone have Christmas presents, and I just start all over. So. I'm gonna sell my silver when it gets close to 100. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at my silver pile today because, I collect for my kids, so I have 4 piles of stuff, and I was just like, well, I only have like 2 bars of some silver that I need to get matching ones for, and I was trying to price it out, and I was like, it's just getting so expensive. I'm like, I'm better off just buying like 1 gram gold bars at that point, and just. So I was like, if I'm just waiting for, like you said, I'm just waiting for silver to hit 100 because it's actually silver is going up faster than gold is. So I'm waiting for silver to hit 100. I'll just sell it and buy some gold. So it's hard to afford junk jewelry now. Yeah, you're going to see it's one of the things whenever precious metals go up, people start doing more and more stuff. You're going to start seeing more and more videos of people going to garage sales. You're going to start seeing more videos of people going to flea markets and little reseller shops to try and find those little hidden gems of gold and silver. It's always been gold. Like people, whenever you see somebody that's doing they're going to these flea markets and stuff, they're always looking for gold, because they're trying to find that little ring that somebody didn't notice, a little 14K or something like that, and they can make $100. Now, if you find something silver, it's just as valuable. Most times people wouldn't look for the silver because silver was $20 an ounce. It's kind of like, okay, it's not worth my time. No, but now it is. Now you start finding, a little bit of silver. I mean, it was funny. I have a couple. I bought a lot of jewelry a while back, like last year or 2 years ago, off of like eBay or something. And I've got a whole bunch of silver rings. And I was like, woohoo, those are just making it worth money. I just haven't had time to figure out where to sell them off to have somebody melt them down. David, thank you very much, brother. I really appreciate that. Way too kind. If I had as much gold as I do silver, I could retire. Yeah. Well, if I had as much gold as I have silver, I would just, be able to pay a bill for a month or so. I don't have that much. My kids are going to be very disappointed when they open they better hope I live another 40 years and can build up in there some. So otherwise they're going to be very disappointed. So. We could all is it still going? It was funny when I saw it hit 1 billion. I was like, I should buy one just so, a ticket. Cause I never played. I will spend way more money on scratchers. I love scratchers. I think, that's one of my things I try to avoid playing because otherwise I will get hooked and spend all my free money on scratchers. But I almost never buy Powerballs. But when I saw it hit 1 billion, I was like, I was going to buy it. And I forgot, but it's good to see they're still there. I'm going to buy some. I'll put those in some Christmas stockings this year. But all right, without much ado, because this is not going to be a long show, but remember, once we start painting, I will be having my mods drop the hidden link. And tonight we have a bag of serotonin Paydirt on the which you can win in the hidden link. I put it on there a few times, so there's a better chance of winning this. This is a 0.5 gram bag. I won this in a recent raffle that I supported. So won it. Figure might as well give it away. I don't want it. I already have one on my shelf, so this one's just to be given away. So everyone will have a chance to do that. So make sure when the hidden video comes up, you put a comment in there. There's 25 different prizes. Well, there's less because I took out some of the copper rounds to put this in there a few times. So make sure you put some stuff in there. 1.7 billion. So after taxes, you'll get like 250 million. So The thing is, it's gonna be like 3 or 4 people are gonna hit. So everyone's gonna get like 100 million. Then they're all gonna be broke within 5 years. So. You're just gonna go buy them out. Yeah. But all right, we're gonna start panning because this is gonna be a shorter show. My son is here. It is Christmas time. I still have stuff to prepare for. I have to cook dinner for Christmas and things like that. Still have some presents to wrap, stuff like that. Family to spend with. So we're not gonna be here too long tonight. 250. So, but we're going to start panning. We're going to start with this one because this was a Christmas present, and it's a little early, but I want to open my Christmas present. I'm going to be too busy later in the week to do any panning. I do have a video coming out Saturday, though. I hope I'm going to be shooting that tomorrow, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to be shooting that tomorrow. So, but all right. Thank you, David. So let's shrink down the ugly mug. Make sure. Nope, that's not there. What is there? Why is... That should be there. All right. Oh, well, that's why. I'm very late setting up today, so there we go. It was funny. I was working helping at my church with the audio and streaming setup the other day, and they were like, "Oh, you use OBS. You should be able to help us a whole bunch with this." I was like, "You don't know. I have never really set up my OBS." I'm like, "No, yours is way more set up than mine." I was actually taking pictures of how they had their OBS set up so I could set mine up more like theirs. All right, there we go. Make sure. There we go. When it sits too still, you always got to wonder if the camera's frozen. But there we go. Let's see. I think... make it a little bit darker. Yeah, there we go. Just so we could see the gold a little better. Yeah, Gold Nugget sales. I mean, there's a reason he's been my champion and he's been in the finals every single year. Just absolutely wonderful seller. In fact, all 4 of the top sellers, I mean, Vendetta Prospecting was, he was only knocked out 1 year from being in the finals just because he had stopped selling for a while for some personal reasons. Gold Nugget Man has been in the top 4 every single year. I don't know who Culver Prospecting essentially would have been in the top 4 every year, except for he's no longer really selling online anymore. So I figured Gold Baron was the next best. He's had Paydirt in stock every time. Some of the other longtime sellers like Gold Bay and Brian Thomas, they're a little bit less involved customer service wise, so that's why they didn't make it in. Bierman's, not Bierman's. Sorry, moving stuff around. Brad's Bucket didn't make it in because he's almost always out of stock. But Gold Nugget sales hands down. Well, maybe not hands down, but him and the 2 mics are my 2 favorites. If you look at my shelf behind me, there's a reason why there's a lot of Gold Nugget sales Paydirt, and there's a lot of Vendetta Paydirt on my shelf. They're my 2 favorite sellers. I think they not only make some of the best Paydirts, but they're also great in the community, helping the community, making the community thrive and be better. So, you can't beat them. Heat Doty, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. And anyway, if I miss you, I apologize. I'm still setting up my tablet, so I have no chat for a minute. If I can remember how to turn this thing on. Did it die? So, all right. We'll give it a second. My last bag and next bag will only come from Gold Nugget sales. You can't go wrong with Gold Nugget sales. You really can't. And like I was telling everyone, so if you're a Patreon member or if you're not a Patreon member, well, my Patreon members know this, or they should. But if you're not a Patreon member, every single day, Monday through Friday, I do a daily ROI chart where I list a whole bunch of sellers, all their Paydirts they list, what their ROIs are on the daily, so you can find those good bags of Paydirt. for today, for example, Vendetta had a bag up there that had 105% ROI if you know the little tricks to it. So, but I was telling someone the other day that, like, even with Gold Nugget sales, even his little quarter grammars, if you buy 4 of those, it only costs you $1 more than buying a 1 gram bag of Paydirt. And for that, you get to sample out 4 different bags of Paydirt. I mean, well, you'll get one of them because he only has 3. So you'll get one of them twice. But it's a good way to, like, sample his Paydirt. So, like, if you don't know what each one is, you can sample them out and they're really good. So, if you're not a Patreon member and you want to see the daily ROIs, in fact, I added some more sellers to it today. I actually added one of my least favorite Paydirt sellers, but he actually has some decent low-priced Paydirt. I'm not going to say who it is. You'll have to be a Patreon member to know. And Donna, thank you very much, Donna. You're always way too kind to me. I really do hope you have a wonderful Christmas this year. I hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas. All right. Trying to get my chat open, so if I miss anything, I apologize. Yeah, I don't know how Mike... Well, I know how Mike does it. He just goes in that pool of his. And Mike, I don't know if you saw, I saw your comment about you wanted to know where the music came from, which I will reply to. I'm going to be replying to all the comments tomorrow. I don't know if you heard the part about... I did put the part in the swimming pool about the song. So there is a part in there about you in the swimming pool. So I don't know if you heard that or not. All right. This tablet just takes forever. But, all right. It's up. You can hear it. It's just... Yeah, I know. Thank you very much. I don't know. Volume's all the way off, but you're still just dinging away. So, all right. Yeah. Jeff, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Bag bar. There we go. So yeah, so first bag we're going to be doing tonight is a good old chunky. I don't think I've ever actually done this bag. I don't think I've ever panned out the chunky. If I have, it's been off camera. I don't think I've ever done a review on the chunky bag. I don't know. I typically don't buy the chunky bags just because it's chunky gold. And so to me, it's just a personal thing. They're not as fun to pan out as smaller gold. I do love chunky gold, don't get me wrong. And whenever I buy gold, I prefer the people that are selling it to me sell me chunky gold. But, I don't think I've ever reviewed this bag or even panned it out. So I'll be excited to see it. There we go. And if I don't talk too much, and if it is pretty easy, we'll be going through some washes too tonight. So we'll have to see. And roast and tellurizer, there you go. Yeah, 145 a gram, yeah. Yeah, so it took me a long time. I think it took me like a couple hours because generally I do use AI to make all my songs. I use Suno to make all my music. But what I'll do is I'll get it to write me a song, and then I'll get it to write me a second song, and then I kind of take them apart and splice them together. Write some new lines, change a whole bunch of stuff. Because a lot of times, a lot of stuff it'll say doesn't make sense. So I'll add a lot of my stuff. So about half of it is me writing it, and the other half is Suno, but then I let it sing it. I don't do the singing. You don't want to hear that. No. All right, let's try this out. See this chunky gold. And I'm guessing this is a 3 grammer, so... All right. I was sort of 5 quarter gram bag. Yeah, it's a good deal. It's one of the things where a lot of times, like a lot of sellers, and if I sold Paydirt, I would do the exact same thing. Where the price, like if you add them up, the price is just such a large difference. Like if a quarter grammer was $30. Someone would be selling the 1 grammer for $100. So you're like, wow, that's $120. I don't want to spend $20 extra just to try out, their small bags. But the fact that his pricing is so close to each other, You know, it's such a good deal. They have the studio now. Yeah. It works for me. I don't generally a lot of times I don't you know, the main thing I want it to do is just do the singing for me, you know? Like I will tell it pretty much what I want it to say, and then, you know, I'll work from there and change up all their lyrics and stuff like that. But it's a great way they, you know, to get music for your channel without having to buy it or, you know, pay YouTube, you know. Mm. They did just get bought out though, so I was a little worried that you know, things will change because I know the company just got bought out, so we'll have to see how long it lasts. Yeah, the quarter gram bags are some of my favorites. I like them. So I have a whole bunch on my shelf. You know. Yeah, you don't want to have your printers just sitting there looking like printers. They gotta have stickers all over them. Yeah, it's one of the things that me and Mike have talked about it. Where it was one of the things I was really worried about with the hobby is if gold gets too expensive, you know, it just kills the hobby. It really does. Not everyone can afford, spending $150 to get a bag of pay dirt and keep going up and up. The only bad thing about like small bags of pay dirt, like quarter grammars and stuff like that, and eighth grammars, is just the shipping. The shipping is a huge killer because unfortunately, as gold's going up, postage is going up at the exact same rate. If you could have, there's a reason why. I have a good buddy of mine that about 5 years ago, I think he said he spent something like 25 grand on forever stamps. you know, I think he paid whatever they were, like 33 cents a piece, for them, and now they're like 90 something cents. So there's some of that first. That doesn't look too chunky to me. That's all kind of chunky. But this one, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know what's in this bag. No. But yeah, postage is going up. So that's the only thing I dislike about smaller bags of painted is you generally get a lot less material. But it's the only way to get a decent ROI, I guess. There's pros and cons for everything. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's one of the things. It's sad was because when Paydirt first really started and got big, if you think about it, gold was at like $40. I mean, it was actually lower than that, but it was probably $35 a gram when I started doing reviews and really started becoming popular to pan out Paydirt as a hobby and not just some tourist attraction. Um, Quarter grammars were such bad ROIs. They were like 25% ROIs. Um, and people still were buying them because 25% ROI, you were still only paying $20, for a quarter gram bag, but you were getting a 25% ROI. But the problem is now, we might have to end up going back to 25% ROIs just because of shipping and gold being so high and things like that, which will suck. And it won't have anything to do with people aren't good sellers, because in the past they weren't good sellers. It'll just be because of costs. So well, Alan, the workaround for that. Did that other bag? By the way, I have not even looked. How is that other bag tracking to you, Alan? I'm really hoping you don't get hit with customs or anything. I put the price on it pretty low, I think. So, but I'll always hook you up, Alan, if you want. So, all right, let's get this done. And again, I hope everyone has an absolutely wonderful Christmas. I hope everyone gets some good Paydirt, or you bought some people some good Paydirt. Hopefully, you told everyone to get your Paydirt off of my top 10 list. There was only a couple sellers that were in stock. All right, some more gold. Card 2528, how's it going? I have no idea what your real name is because YouTube's being this way again. It's getting here. All right, I'll have to look it up. I had totally forgot about that because usually I've been worried about a package I shipped out to the States that was a big chunk of gold that kind of got lost. So I've been focused on that, and I totally forgot about yours. I'll have to look at it and see how it's doing. Thank you very much, Wes. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I still need to email you one of these days for my idea for the sluice. Here, I'm going to actually write a note. So I do it. I'm going to do it this week because I got to catch up on some stuff. All right. All right. Wrote my note. There we go. Banshee Mining in the house. How are you? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Hopefully you're going to have a good Christmas full of gold. Hopefully everyone is. And hopefully next year everyone will have some really good luck finding gold because next year will be the year that it hits 5K. So did I forget to put gold? It's funny. I was doing whose Paydirt was I doing for the championship? Was it it was Vendetta's. Vendetta's Paydirt. It was funny. So when I was panning out the Vendetta, you can't really tell in the video for the championship video, but I did not find any gold until like the second to last pan. The whole time I was thinking, I was like, oh, please don't let this be a dud bag that Mike somehow missed all the gold. I did have another bag on my shelf just in case something had happened. I had a bag of everybody's just in case something happened. But I was like, oh my gosh. But then I started thinking, I was shaking the bag. I'm shaking the pan. It had to have just all settled down to the bottom. So. So, but I was so worried. I was like, oh, I mean, not that it was live or anything, and I couldn't just reshoot that part, but I was like, that would just suck if the one bag the bag I had from Mike would just so happen to be some dud bag. Montana Sapphire, I think I've done their stuff before. If you look at my old gem Paydirt videos, I did a couple of Sapphire reviews with my kids when they used to really be into gems and stuff. And I actually like the Sapphire Paydirt. If you look at just my gem ones, most of the ones we did were Sapphire. I always thought it was the best deal for the money. I mean, because usually it's real Montana sapphires, as opposed to like if you just do a gem Paydirt, you're getting a whole bunch of stuff from India and this just really subpar gems that you're getting in bulk that aren't worth anything. When Montana sapphires, you can get ones that are nice. So, but I know who you're talking about. I just can't. I'll have to look at their website later. But I have done a few sapphire reviews. Maybe I will have to Liz's daughter. Maybe I'll have to do some with her. Black Broke Prospecting, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Yes. Who is that? Let me see. The real Mr. Hogan, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. I know a lot of people probably have other stuff they could be doing with it almost being Christmas, so I appreciate everyone coming to hang out with me. If one of the mods want to drop the hidden link, or all the mods want to drop the hidden link, and make sure you enter the hidden video tonight. We've got 25 prizes up there. It's actually less because I have a bag of serotonin Paydirt I put on there. I put it on there 3 times. There's only one bag, but I'm trying to up the chance that somebody could win it tonight. But I got some other good prizes on there as well. So see if you can't win something right before Christmas. It won't ship till after Christmas, but you know, you'll have something for the new year. And thank you all mods. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I need to pay attention to the dirt. I wasn't even looking at the dirt. Probably panned out half of the gold. Because Mike's getting all worried that there's no gold in the bag. It's more gold. Getting a little bit in every single pan. But we haven't really put too much of a dent in the dirt, so. I was hoping we'd be able to do both bags tonight, but I don't think we will, because I have to end the show around 7:30. We'll have to see. This isn't panning as quickly as I thought it would. Probably because I'm talking too much. It's kind of dusty. Well, they're just blocking everything tonight. Half the messages are getting blocked. I don't know why. Midwest, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. And again, appreciate everyone being here tonight, watching me just do some panning, saving yourselves from having to look at my ugly mug. But yeah, so there's a good championship battle. I enjoyed all 4 of those Paydirts. They all have their pluses. They all have, I think they're kind of, I don't want to say minuses, but they're all really good at certain things, you know. Packaging definitely would go to Gold Nugget Man. He's got some of the best packaging around, just absolutely crazy. And still to give such a good high ROI. One of the things I harp on a lot of times when I do reviews is I'm not a huge fan of when they throw in extras, you know, like the little vials and things like that, because they do cost money. It might only be a penny, but a penny worth of gold to me is more important than a penny vial or a penny card or something like that. But Gold Nugget Man, his packaging is extremely great packaging for and still having a high ROI. So I mean, I think it helps that, you know, he mines up a lot of his gold, so you know, saves on cost a little bit there. Gold Baron is great for being such a newcomer into the scene, you know. But Gold Nugget Sales and Vendetta, those two, I think I could probably do a championship battle every year and it'd be those two in the top 2 every single time. Yeah. Grim Keeper, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. All right. Appreciate it, Rich. Just keep popping in. I'll be here for a little bit. All right, where's my coffee? I need to try and clear my sinuses. And then again, I still have one more video coming out for the end of the month. So this Saturday, I do still have one more video coming out. It's more of a math video. There won't actually be any panning in the video. But hopefully some people will appreciate it and like it. It's one of the things I prefer. I love doing the math videos. Let me see. Yeah. Computer's freaking out. Next year, I think I'll have to. It's kind of. I was trying to earlier this year. I was thinking about replacing my laptops earlier this year, but now laptops gone through the roof. So we'll have to. Why is. I'm gonna have to check the settings. That's just crazy. This is blocking everything tonight. Why is everything being held for review? Yeah. But yeah, make sure everyone you go leave a comment on the hidden link. You won't get this for Christmas, but you could still win something for Christmas. It just won't be in your hand. So got some good prizes on the wheel tonight. Got some Paydirt on there, which is always good. A half-gram bag. Yeah, it's only gonna get worse. Yeah. So yeah, essentially I'm gonna have to buy old stock, which is the only way. You have to essentially find 2-year models ago to get anything. So, but I need to upgrade. I definitely need to upgrade at least my basement one, because I bought this one. It was used. The battery's only at I think 45%, so I can't if I unplug it, it dies within 5 minutes. Because it is a gaming laptop, so I can use all the resources for OBS and stuff. And I upgraded the RAM and all that, but it needs a new, better graphics card. So I think I need to just buckle down and get a new one next year, And what sucks is I can't even, because originally my plan was when this one started to die, I'd buy a better one for upstairs for all my editing and stuff. And then put that one down here, but one upstairs isn't any much better than this one, so I don't know if it can even handle it. So I'll have to see. I don't want to buy two, that's for sure. That's it, Gold Baron. Why would they hide Tomcat? Why is that being blocked? Oh my gosh, what is up with YouTube? I haven't gotten any ads today, so that's good. We'll have to see. Oh, so I did. Let me know, anybody, if you get any ads, because I 100% turned off all monetization for this live show to see. Because if you still get ads, I'm gonna have to put it back on, because if somebody's gonna make money, it might as well be me. I don't want it to be YouTube. But I turned off monetization just to see if it would stop all ads from popping up. So we'll have to see. Oh, I see something big in there. That's something big. We'll have to bury that back down a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I got a metal detector in my room. Like I said, I think with prices going so high on, not only just gold, but silver, platinum is going up through the roof too. You're going to start seeing a lot of people picking up a lot of new hobbies. Gold prospecting is probably one of the harder ones where you can't just, go in your backyard and find something. But metal detecting, things like that, they're going to get boomed, because you find, a silver necklace, you got $40, $50, an old silver ring, some silver, a silver quarter is spot price is like $10, the melt value on a silver quarter is, I think, rate like $12 and something, maybe $13 today. Charles King, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. And whoever was asking about the sapphires, Clark, email me, Dylan@MillerProspecting.com, and send me a link. Because like I said, I do want to start doing a couple more gem reviews next year with Liz's daughter Caitlin, and maybe that'll be what I'll do, because 20 pounds sounds like a fun time. Sold a 2 with Silver Eagles, yeah. That's generally, if you look at silver, that's how silver tends to go. It'll be at $20, then it'll like sit at 20 for a long time. Then it'll jump up and go crazy to like 45. And then it'll drop back down to 20. It'll stay at 20 for a while, go up to 45 and drop down, which is one of the reasons why, you just got to buy when it's low. Gold just steadily keeps going up and up. But yeah, that's exactly why I haven't emailed you, Mentally Corrupted. I can't afford $72. Because I need four. I need 4 silver bars. So that's like, $300. Yeah, mine's still sitting in my room. I've pulled it out and played with it in my house, to make sure it works, and then that's it. So maybe this year I have a lower priced one. Maybe this year I'll have to try and buy a nicer one and, start doing that as a hobby. Nowhere around me is worth gold mining. I can't go anywhere prospecting to make it worth my time. But, going to local parks here, might be worth it. And Pint-Sized Pioneers, thank you for joining the show. Merry Christmas to you and everyone else as well. It's hard to metal detect in Texas. Yeah, it's hard to metal detect a lot of places. Here, it's really hard. Indiana, it's hard to metal detect here due to all the Indian reservations and their laws and stuff like that. Like, you can only dig so deep, and you can get there. So this is what we found so far. Getting there. I saw something big in the pan, so I'm thinking, this chunky. Isn't there? It's been a while. Doesn't this 3 grammer include a 1 gram nugget? Here, I'm gonna look it up. It's been a while. It does. So there is a guaranteed 1 gram nugget if this is the 3 gram bag, which I'm 99% sure it is. So yeah, Midwest. I was watching one of the shows I follow. One of the channels I follow is a pawn shop, and they had a guy bring in 2 100-ounce bars. I forget what he got for him, like $15K or something like that. And he had bought 4. And that's what he said. He bought 4 a long time ago, and now he was selling 2, making a profit, and still haven't paid them all off. So it does, yeah. All state parks have banned metal. Oh, that sucks. Cockatoo Birdman Bill, thank you very much. Have a Merry Christmas, brother. Yeah, a lot of places do that now. A lot of national forests have, parklands have banned metal detecting. And, like I said, I said it, I think, a couple weeks ago. Next year, if they ever do truly, I think they are. I think Mike from Gold Nugget Sales believes they are too. If they ever reevaluate gold, because, they can do it. All the fiat countries can get together and just decide to make gold $20,000 an ounce. There's nothing anyone can do about it. It's just the way it's going to be. But if they ever do something like that, try and get rid of this deficit, because, tariffs aren't working. We're not paying off the deficit. We've added $2.3 trillion to our deficit. We didn't subtract even a single dollar from our deficit. The only way we're going to get out of it, pretty much, that we can't stop spending, it's not happening, is they need to raise the price of gold and make gold worth a lot more. But if they do that, there's going to start being a lot of laws, a lot of restrictions on what you can and can't mine anymore. I mean, there's going to be a lot. I think they're going to outlaw it totally. They're just going to start putting, what is it, like Oregon does, where now you need to go and file and pay, all kinds of fees and get a permit and this and that. They're going to start doing that. So then essentially what will happen is then some rich guy, Blackstone, will come in, buy up all the permits, and it'll be just like taxis, where taxis in San Francisco and New York, where people are paying $1 million to get a taxi permit. And that's what'll happen is some guy will have like be paying 100 grand to have a permit to, go gold mining on the beaches in Wisconsin. Yeah, he'll probably make his family will make his money back over the next 40 years, but it'll just be they're gonna make it so hard to her, me and you or anybody else to go out there prospecting, because they know people that are prospecting ain't reporting it. So, yeah, yeah. Well, I think one of the reasons that makes it pretty obvious that they're going to do it is the fact that all the fiat countries are the ones that are hoarding the gold right now. They're the ones that are buying up massive amounts of gold. The United States isn't, because we already have a massive hoard of gold. And we still might be. We're just not letting anybody know about it. Or if we are, we're buying it really in secret. But the whole fact that they're really adamant, it's not that they're, one of the things that has been driving, politics for the last 16 years, probably last 16 years, is the deficit, where people talking about how they want to lower the deficit, how this is going to be the party to lower the deficit. And the amount that the deficit is going up is just ridiculous. I mean, and the only time people do that, it's kind of like, have you ever gotten a brand new credit card, or, if you're used to having like a $500 limit on a credit card, and all of a sudden you get a new card and it's got like a $5,000 limit, the first thing you do is you go buy something big. Even if you don't need it, you'll say, oh, wow. It's the same thing as when the COVID checks came. You saw the COVID checks were supposed to help people, buy food, do this, do that. And you saw people buying TVs, big purchase items, because that's what happens. And the fact that the government is just really, really spending money right now makes you think that they have a plan in the background, like, we can spend all this money because next year gold's going to be worth 25 grand and deficit's going to be paid off. So, yeah. Yeah, that's one of the bad things, I will say, I'm not going to get into tariffs if they're good or bad, but one of the things that the United States government thought with tariffs was that it was going to hurt China. They really did think they would hurt China, and then China would come back and, really be kissing our butt. And the exact opposite happened. China went out with its sales force and said, hey, let's just go to every country. China this year is having its best trade year ever by a far margin. China realized they don't need us buying all their products anymore, and they are out there in force making massive amounts of money. So, yeah. So don't say, like, I remember back in the day, everyone used to keep a coffee can in their kitchen full of cash. Don't do that anymore. Don't do that anymore. Throw some gold even if you're just throwing silver quarters and silver dimes in there. That's the only cash you should be keeping in a tin anymore in your kitchen. Dollar bills, no. If anything, if you want, keep some Swiss francs in there, or, some foreign currency, because, gold's going to be where it's at soon enough. Yep. Well, the United States was just lucky. I mean, it wasn't really luck, but, after World War II, every other country was devastated. And we had just spent 4 years building all these industries to pump out stuff. So right after World War II, we just had the best situation. Our country wasn't devastated. We hadn't been bombed for years and years and years. We had just built up tons and tons of factories so we could mass produce stuff. We were, when people talk about, oh, we should bring back all the factories and stuff, we had the factories in World War II. We haven't had factories since then. Once we did that, so we had everyone buying from us. We had gold standard was based on us. So we had just the world by its horns, and we've kind of been squandering it ever since. And, we're just losing it and losing it. So, yeah, they want every country, I think, and, it's one of those things, like, you see about it every like couple of years. You'll hear about like the egg industry was all that we're all convoluting together to, set prices, or the meat industry. They find out years later, like, oh yeah, the meat industry was raising prices. They were all talking to each other. All these companies were setting prices. Like there was just a big thing about Coke, was doing something. They were setting prices where somewhere where they weren't allowing people to do sales and stuff like that. They just busted Coke doing something. And that's what we're going to find out. In 20 years from now, or 25 years, we're going to find out that all these fiat countries, even though they say, oh, we don't like each other, we don't do this, they were all talking in the background. They were all saying, okay, we'll just buy up all the gold, you know, and then we're going to get rid of, you know, the dollar as the currency. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. There's that big old chunker in there. So, you know, and the people that are sitting there with bank accounts with, you know, $500,000 in cash sitting there are going to find out really, really quickly. You know, like, oops, I should have bought gold. Beerman. They still have some Beanie Babies that are worth a fortune. They're just very, very few of them. And that's one of those things where, you know, there are a lot of things that you can collect that aren't, you know, precious metals. But, you know, it's like me. I used to collect comic books when I was years and years ago. And I mean, I still have some. But I used to collect them fiercely. But I knew, you know, like, yeah, I mean, I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man was always the comic I collected. It was the one I focused on. And there were some great ones. But if they weren't worth money, I usually didn't have them in my stack. You know, it'd be like, oh, I don't want a comic book, you know, even if it was from 1970 or 1968. If there was nothing key about it, it was going to be worth 35 cents for as long as I owned it. Whereas if I had, you know, Spider-Man number 300, I knew every single year it'd be up in value. So, floating rock. Yeah, the eBay price. I always love that. I'll have people tell me sometimes, oh, that's worth so much. It's selling on eBay. It's like, no, that's what it's listed for. There we go. There's a big old chunker there. That's a pretty one. That is a nice shiny one. So I'm starting my collection over for the new year. This will be the first nugget in my new collection. Bam. Wait, why am I using that riffle? I don't use that riffle. Yep. TM, how's it going? Thanks for joining the show. Appreciate it. All right, let's just get the rest of it out of here. Yeah, I mean, collectibles, even if, you know, the economies always go bad, and, you know, the one thing is collectibles will always have money. It just becomes key issues. Like, I'll remember days where, like, certain items, like, you know, Beanie Babies, where all of them were worth money. You know, it's like, no matter which one you got, they were guaranteed you could resell them for more money. But then once, you know, economies change, it'll be a certain, you know, it'll be like one every 1,000 what it should be. So... Yeah, I always liked Beanie Babies. I just never collected them, you know. I prefer stuff that I know will go up in value no matter what. So, but like anything with most people, if you collect something at some point in your life, you've sold off your entire collection to buy something, you know, your bills or something else, and you just start all over. That's the whole point, you know. I always tell people, if you're going to collect something that's worth money. You know, it might be cute to collect, bobbleheads or something like that. But at the end of the day, 10 years later, when you have 1,000,000 bobbleheads, they're still going to be worth nothing. But if you'd have spent that money buying, you know, silver dimes, you'd have a pile of money. You know, if all of a sudden you need a new truck, you can buy a new truck. You know, always collect stuff that you can resell at some point for a little bit of money if you need it. Midwest, that's awesome. Flower Gold Wizard hoodie? Ah, man. Now I need one of those. I didn't know. A little late, but I'll save it till next year. Chinese robot at a garage sale for $5 and sold on eBay for 30. Oh, that's awesome, brother. Yeah. It's always good to do that, find those little bitty things. I don't know if I told everyone, so I buy I there's a certain website, I'm not gonna say which one because I don't want anyone stealing my hustle. But there's a certain website I go to where you can auction, and it's not eBay, where they have comic books and they auction off comic books. And the other day, it was about a month ago, not even a month ago, yeah, probably a month ago, I saw a lot of comic books, and they were advertising one of them, which was an old, like, how to draw comic book from, like, the 40s or something. It was only worth, like, 30 or 40 bucks. But that was the main one they were advertising, and there was 3 books. And the third book was actually Action Comics #1. I mean, it was in horrible, horrible, absolute trash shape. But I was like, this can't be the real one. So, I mean, I studied those pictures for, I think, a week solid. And it was I'm 90%, 95% sure it was an actual Action Comics #1. There is one replica they made or fake they made that it could have been, but I'm almost positive it wasn't. So I remember I was driving when it ended. I had to pull over the side of the road to bid on it. And I ran out of money at $8K, and it sold for $8,001. I was so bummed. I was like, man, I should have just bid and found the extra money for it. But at its current grade, it would have sold for about 150 grand. So if it was the real one, if it wasn't the real one, I'd have been crying, but you know, you know, next time. I collect Assassin's Creed statues. If they're McFarlane's, they'll be worth money. McFarlane stuff worth a lot. I love McFarlane statues. He puts out some really awesome ones. Yeah, you never know. Like I know, what was it? I think it was not last year, but the year before last. I was at Goodwill. I went to my local Goodwill, and they had a lithograph of Harley Quinn. And I was like, man, this looks like it could be worth some money. And it was $10. And I was like, and it was framed. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get it for $10. I'm like, worst comes to worst, I'll keep the frame for something else, and you know, I get it. Ended up being a really exclusive lithograph. I sold it for I think like $400. So I was like, that's a good haul. You know, but it's just always fun thinking. I don't have 7 grand. I didn't have the 8 grand. It was all going on credit card. So, and I didn't want to max out my card, which I should have just done. I should have just bet it all. But you know, it was at 5% that I was worried about because I was like, if it's not it, I'm just in debt forever. You know, and I wasn't sure if I really wanted to be in debt forever for that 5% chance, you know. All right, my phone. Hold on. I'm trying to do something on my phone. All right. No, there's no silver in here. What is that? What are you seeing silver? That's gold. Nothing but gold in here. Every time I buy some, I'm not saying a lot of stuff I buy turns out to be that way exactly, but you know, it's always fun. So, like my local comic book store, the guy there absolutely just does not like me. So, because he knows I flip stuff, and he'll always like try to like look up price guides for stuff like that. So now I have to go in really quickly, and I'll go in there to buy something like a movie or something like that, and I'll videotape everything. I'll walk around with my go home and watch the video to see if there's anything I can resell. Then I go back in when he's not there and buy it. Well, that's awesome. That'll keep you busy for a while, that's for sure. That's some got some little flower gold in this thing too. See a little bit of flower gold. I like this. Now I'm thinking about. I don't think I've ever done this Paydirt again. I really don't. I think I would remember if I got a 1 gram nugget for a small bag of Paydirt, or relatively small. You know, I like this. I might have to make this my go-to for when I do 3 grammers. Need to send in a secret shopper. Well, most of his employees aren't like him. They know. I mean, they know that people are flipping stuff and they don't care. It's just the owner of the store. And what's funny is he looks at price guides and like he looked. What was it? He doesn't know. Like I don't know. I think it's funny. But one day I went in there and there was a certain comic book that I was looking for. That I saw he had, so I went to go get it and I grabbed a couple more. And he had like 3 copies of it. And I told him I was like, oh, I want all 3. And as soon as I said that, he knew, okay, he's going to be flipping these. So he looked them up and he's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to charge you $20 a piece for them. And I told him, okay, charge me 20. They were selling for 150 each. I was like, okay, charge me whatever you want. Who's paying this? Is Gold Nugget Sales. Jeffrey, how's it going? This is Gold Nugget Sales. This is his chunky 3 grammer. You know, it's guaranteed a 1 gram nugget. So I'm guessing either this or this is 1 gram. One of these two is 1 gram. I'm not sure which. You guess. Well, there we go. So there we go. Nice little pile. So there we go. That was some good gold. Well, you know. If you want a 1 gram nugget, you get the 3 gram or chunky bag from him. Aqua Donkey, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. But all right, we're going to. Now I'm not going to weigh that nugget up. I'm definitely not going to weigh it up on live because I might have to use this for one of my gold guessing days one of these days. We'll have to see. I think that wouldn't be too close because everyone's going to know it's right around 1 gram. So I do have another nugget for next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we'll be panning out another bag of Paydirt that has a nugget in it. So, all right, let's do the hidden giveaway. So now I can go cook my son some dinner. I can eat, and I can start wrapping presents. And thank you very much for dropping the hidden link. Appreciate it. HD. All right, let me move my ugly mug. Move all this stuff. Yeah, getting the ugly mug. We're getting the ugly mug. Yeah, I'm gonna regret that. All right, shrink down. There we go. Shrink down that little nugget. You can still see the nugget in there. The rest of the gold, not so much, but what's that? Oh, thank you very much. See, GNS Mike knows he's already set for next year of hand picking him. And I tease and I tease. There is no I really battled this year. I will say I really battled this year debating whether I should just do all 16 teams again or just cut it down to 4. But since I've been doing my daily ROIs on my Patreon for all my Patreon members, I could see that, there was 3 clear winners that should have been in my top 4, and I was positive those 3 would also be in even if a team of 16 would be in the top 3. And then just the 4th one, Gold Baron has been consistent for the last 6 months. So I was figured, we got to go with them. But thank you very much, Mike. I really do appreciate that. So, way too kind as always, brother. And I was watching your video, brother. It's the new gold vlog. Whiskey Lovers, crazy. So there was some good stuff in there. I was reminiscing when I was, it's the one thing I do like about watching your videos with Whiskey Lover when you open his stuff is just reminiscing about some of the stuff like the Belvedere. I used to love Belvedere and Chopin. They were both produced by the same company, and they were 2 of my favorites. Chalk Hill was a really good one. The bourbons and stuff, I'm not so much, but then, even though I'm not a bourbon person or a whiskey person, like when he came up with the old fashioned, if I ever had, if I was drinking, whiskey, it was always old fashioned. So that was like, oh, great, old fashioned mix. So he always had some awesome stuff. Which was where, by the way, he's the one that had put this up as a prize for me that I won. When this was, who was this with? This was Brad's Bucket for Brad's Bucket food wrap. I won this, and Whiskey Lover had this up there as a prize. So, but yeah, that was an awesome thing. He's lucky he's only lives you 10 hours. I figured out my driving. I think my driving to you is something like 28 hours. It's definitely going to have to be a flight to get up there. So, yeah, Jim Beam is shutting down for a year. There's going to be a few of them that are going to be doing it. There's just, like I said, I think, the tariffs were not the best idea. And the tariffs, I think the tariffs were a decent idea, but it's one of those things. Ronald Reagan showed it, talked about it a lot when he was president. Tariffs are a great threat. But there's one of those things where once the threat is called, you have to back off. It's kind of like that thing, like at a gunfight, if you pull a gun and they pull a gun, the guns no longer work. Then you both have to essentially put them away and like, okay, we'll get along now. But unfortunately, some people are just, they just wanted to they were just adamant about, tariffs were going to work or they're going to fail. And they're, it just sucks, because, kind of businesses are not booming, companies aren't building more and more factories. Factories are dropping and closing, Del Monte in California just filed bankruptcy. 5,000 jobs are getting laid off. Just companies are just closing, shuttering doors. So, but, yeah, who's that? Whose tequila was it? There was it's somebody rich person's tequila company. I forget who, but yeah, somebody a big truckload of tequila. I think that was an inside job. That tequila thing was kind of a weird story. I forget who it is, but it's a company that's by some Hollywood guy, some actor. It's some actor that owns a huge percent of that tequila thing. Just the whole thing sounds like an inside job. Like the company was losing money, like massive amounts of money. It wasn't going to be as popular as they thought. So they essentially had all their inventory stolen. So the insurance company would have to come in and pay for it. John R. Prospecting. What's up, brother? I still need to email you, John. I was looking at my notes today. I still need to email you. I definitely want one of your bags of Paydirt on my shelf early next year. So we need to figure out something where we could trade, or I can buy a 1 gram bag of Paydirt from you to put on my shelf. So that's a great one. That's a great one, Whatful. Wesley, yeah, definitely. If you make sure you talk to your family, this is a great time of the year to be thankful for friends and family. Make sure you enjoy this season. So it's a great time to give back. And just now getting the message that the Gold Vlog put out a video. Yeah, I know. I already watched it. Sammy or Ron White. I don't remember who it was. Yeah, everyone wants a sample bag of it. So, but all right, let me make sure I got everything for the giveaway. Now, again, here, I will even drop it. I can do some work today. Okay, we'll definitely trade. Here, where are my notes? I don't know what I do with my notes. Did I drop them on the floor? Tiny Cat, are you in here? Oh, we'll have to use another piece of paper. John R. Trade. Yeah, right at the first of the year, we'll have to trade bags of Paydirt. I'll get you one. Yeah. That doesn't work. So yeah, make sure everyone, you go over to the hidden link, leave a comment. We're going to go through the prizes. We've got a couple prizes on there. Only 20. It's like 22 prizes. So you got a pretty good chance if I pull your name of winning something good. As always, YouTube and its affiliates have nothing to do with this giveaway. This is 100% by me to just thank everyone for putting up with my ugly mug and watching my live shows and just supporting the channel. So so, all right, let me make sure everyone's names are going through all the comments. We can do that. All right, let me get the link as well. All right, so everyone's comments seems to be going through. Yeah, my nose is getting ready to just explode and run, so I need to end this show and go take some more medicine. Tomcat Ja, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Just got your comment in. All right, there you go. Yeah, you better have your comment in. Paul, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. You're not a mod, so you can't drop the hidden link. The HD, there you go. So, all right, let's shrink down the ugly mug one more time. Get rid of the pan. That was an awesome bag. I'm definitely, you know, the White Horse 3 grammer has always been my favorite because it was the chunky gold. But I kind of like this one better. You know, the gold's, I don't think the gold's as chunky as the White Horse gold, but having that 1 gram nugget in there, I think makes it worth the extra like $5 or $10 that it is. So you'll definitely start seeing those on the shelf more. You know, I need to add some more gold nugget sales to the backup shelves. I have a lot of Vendetta on here. I have a lot of Vendetta. So I need to add some more gold nugget sales. I have a lot of his little ones lined up, but those are for giveaways. So, and I did get, I don't know. So if you're a Patreon member for the wheel spins and in the future Tuesday spins, I did get in some custom Vendetta Paydirt here. So I got in some custom Vendetta Paydirts just for the wheel. These are 1/8 gram bags of Paydirt Vendetta. I had to make up special for me for the wheel prizes. So the wheel is going to be much better for 2026. A lot more chances to win Paydirt, less chances to win copper. We just got to hope the odds stay where every 1 bag of Paydirt I give away, we get 1 copper. So, but all right, let's shrink down the ugly mug. Make sure that's working. And let's go through all the prizes and we'll pull a name. And as always, if I pull your name, you must post something in the live chat before the end of the show so then I can spin the wheel. So if you don't post something in the live chat, I can't spin the wheel. You can't win a prize. So you definitely want to win. Um, Okay, yeah, we'll do that, John. Well, I'll email you, John, and we can figure out when to trade. I mean, I can even send you yours, and you can just send me yours when you get the swag stuff in and stuff like that. So, yeah, no biggie. But I definitely want to trade because I want to have, even if the trade is in motion, it just clears up my head, and I can say, okay, I know I have a bag coming for my shelf because I need to redo my shelves as it is because unfortunately, as I'm getting older and fatter, I'm blocking more and more Paydirt on my shelf. So I need to figure out a way to, you know, fit more Paydirt on there and not be blocking it. So my original idea was to extend these and make them further, but I don't think I'm going to do that. It's just too much work and I don't want to have to do all that. So, but yeah. All right, let's shrink down the ugly mug. There we go. To the best website. And I wonder, is it in order? Let me see. So top 10 recommended sellers. Number 1, Gold Nugget Sales. Number 2, Vendetta. Number 3, Gold Nugget Man. Number 4, Gold Baron Paydirt. And I think those are actually in order that they came. I had set this before I even shot the video. I did it last week. I removed some sellers off of here. I've changed up my top 10. I unfortunately removed Yukon Alley. I removed Culver Prospecting. They just don't have Paydirt in stock often enough. Unfortunately, I might have to cut it down to I might redo this. I just don't know. My top 10, I try to keep are Paydirt sellers that actually have Paydirt in stock. I added Northern Nevada Gold to my top 10. I think he's a spectacular seller. He has, not, to my knowledge, never run out of Paydirt, so I added him on there. I don't remember who I pulled off, but it was somebody that just wasn't keeping Paydirt in stock often enough, or they were having issues. They were changing stuff. Oh, it was who was it? Northern Carolina Paydirt. It was Colorado Paydirt Company. So I had to pull them off. They were just running out of stock. Their titles weren't matching. So, but I added Northern Nevada Gold on there. But the big one, of course, number 1, goldnuggetsales.com. I'll be curious. I have to look at my links to see if I'm sending you any traffic off my website. I used to have links that I could track, but I got rid of them because they were too much. But all right. YouTube comments. Let's go. Let's put the code in there, but then we'll go to the prizes. So here's the prizes on the wheel. There is only one bag of serotonin Paydirt. It's a 0.5 gram. It's this one right here. But I put it on the wheel 3 times, so you have 3 chances to win it. Then we have this weird copper gold thing that I got from Mike on Whatnot that he made me spend like $40 on. I put that on the wheel 3 times because if there's a chance that you can win this really good prize, there's going to be 3 chances to win a really weird prize. We have random silver quarter. We have 2 of those up there. 2 random silver dimes. Random silver Mexican coin. It's 10% silver. A bag of Paydirt, MBMLC. From those left behind, donated to the channel at 0.114 grams. Mini keychains. Small rock from MBMLC. That name will drive me crazy. Have a random gold bag from Alan Curie. Kazakhstan copper. I have a French franc that's NGC. Some signed gold pan from me, myself. Some keychains. These are different keychains. There's a Miller Prospecting keychain, a gold skull keychain, and I think one other keychain as well. I have a PCGS presidential dollar. These are graded, slabbed. And then we have 5 copper rounds. And I think these are all still, I think I still have the copper rounds that were donated by Whiskey Lover. And those are the fancy copper rounds. I might be out of them because I've been kind of giving those away a lot. So, but those are all the prizes. But first we got to pick the names. Now let me check up on chat real quick. Just taking time, just making custom. Yeah, that works. Yeah, I had some stickers on order, and I ordered some stickers, and they showed up, and they were wrong, so I had to send them back because, you know, they don't trust you that they're wrong. And then I had them send me new. So I finally got in my batch of stickers again because I've been running really low. But, yeah, getting anything custom-made just takes forever. And I got something in the other day from the UK at $52 tariffs. I had to pay $52 on top of the $170 I paid. So a third of the price, you know, went to tariff. So, but all right, wheel names, YouTube comment picker. Here we go. Let's fetch. Good luck to everyone. Thank you for joining the show. Even if you don't win, hopefully you win for Christmas Day and you get something good underneath the tree. Hopefully you've all been good and Santa treats you right. But good luck to everyone. 51 prizes. Let's pick a winner. Now, again, you must post something in the live chat to collect your prize. So after I pull the name, we'll go to the live chat, see if somebody's there. So there we go. Let's pick the winner. Those left behind. Didn't you just win last week? So we're going to pull another name too after David posts. So David, let's see if you're here. Then we'll pull your prize. You are not allowed to win your own prize. OTR driver. It's no worries, no worries. Show's almost over. You have time though. Go to hidden link. Scroll up. Get the hidden link. Put your name in. Reroll. All right. So we'll respin. All right. He doesn't want his prize. So there we go. So we will pick somebody else. So let's pick another winner. Michael Reed. There you go, Mike. Mike won on my guessing contest for Gold Nugget. So Michael, now I just need you to post a picture, then we'll spin the wheel. So Michael Reed, I just saw Kristen was right in here. Kristen, you don't count. It's got to be Michael. Tap him on his shoulder. Tell him to post. No, we'll just wait for Michael. And if Michael doesn't win the Paydirt, we're going to give it one more spin. No. Everyone's trying to post hidden. No, they're probably on a longer delay. All right, there he is. All right, Michael, let's spin the wheel for you. We're going to shuffle it up. We'll see what Perry the Platypus gets you. Let's see. So Michael Reed. The 1 ounce copper. All right. So we're going to pull one more name. We're going to remove this one. Or you can have a sticker pack, whichever one you want. You want a sticker pack or a copper round, Michael. And then we're going to pick one more name just for the Christmas holidays. Bush Wookie. Bush Wookie, who thinks I have the prettiest hands on the internet. Bush Wookie, if you leave a comment, we'll spin the wheel for you as well. So, and thank you, HD. Yes, I saw. So, okay, Michael Reed's got the 1 ounce copper or the sticker pack. And now we're waiting on Bush Wookie. Copper? All right. We'll send that off to you, Michael. I will probably wait, Michael. I'm going to probably wait to send it out until after the Patreon go next week. Or is that not? No, that's not next week. That's 2 weeks. So, yeah, it'll go out this weekend. Oh, Bush Wookie, all right. So, all right. All right, so it's Bush Wookie. Let's shuffle it up some. Spin. Oh, you got a random silver. So, all right, that's a good enough. There we go. Random silver. So, Bush Wookie, there you go. You get a random silver Mexican coin. It's 10% silver, which is probably worth a few bucks now. It's silver going crazy. But congratulations. Now, the serotonin Paydirt, I am going to give this away. I'm going to give it away during my Patreon Appreciation Live. So when we do the Patreon Appreciation Live, I will pick somebody who will win this. This is a guaranteed prize. I will add it to that wheel that we're doing. So it is going to give away. It was a giveaway I won, and I don't keep giveaway stuff I win. I always give it back. So we'll be adding that. But there we go. Bush Wookie, I will need you to email me so I have your email address. Oh, wow. Caps was all on. Ignored me screaming at you, Bush Wookie. Dylan at MillerProspecting.com. Mark Shelton, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it, even though it's late. So, but yeah, all right. Ugly mug time. If I can get my OBS open. Yeah. So, yeah, Saturday or Sunday or Monday. Like I said, I've been having a hard time with the weekends getting anything done with my videos. I might eventually next year just move all videos to Monday, then live shows Tuesday as they are. I've been trying to keep them on Saturdays, but it's just getting harder with the weekends with my kids and stuff like that. And when I don't have my kids, it's usually when I'm fixing stuff around my house or spending time with Liz. So the video, I do have a video coming out. I'm just going to say it's going to be out Monday. So next Monday, I will have a new video coming out. Next Tuesday, we'll be panning out some Paydirt from that same seller that we're doing the video for Monday. Then next Tuesday, we'll be doing some panning for that. So, but hopefully up until then, in that time, everyone has an absolutely wonderful Christmas. Hopefully everyone finds bags and bags of Paydirt underneath the tree. Hopefully no lumps of coal. Go buy some lottery tickets. Yeah, that's it. I need to write a note to buy some lottery tickets for stockings. Even though my chances are pretty slim because the last big lottery was somebody from Indiana. So the chances of it being in Indiana again, I think 90% of all lottery winners are in California. So when it goes to another state, you use up that one state forever. So, but I want to definitely Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you all for blessing me and my channel so much. I appreciate all of you people that just watch my channel, all my Patreon members. I do have a Patreon. I will be posting a sticky. So if you're a Patreon member, make sure you guess on the gold guessing contest, because in Tuesdays we will be doing the Patreon appreciation live show where this serotonin bag will be included in it. Didn't give it away today. So we'll add it to then. Next week we'll just do a regular wheel. It will have a bag of Paydirt on there, but it'll go back to the Brian Thomas Paydirt. So, but someone will be winning this. One of my Patreon members will be winning this serotonin Paydirt. So to appreciate everyone for being Patreon members, I just figured I would try tonight just for somebody could win something for Christmas. But somebody won some silver, somebody won some copper. Just no gold today. It's just me, I guess. So. But I'm going to get out of here, go spend some time with my son. Thank you all very, very much for joining me on the show. I hope everyone has an absolute blast for Christmas and, again, finds a whole bunch of gold underneath the tree. But I'm out of here. Thank you all very much. Have a blessed Christmas. Spend some time with your family and find some good gold underneath that tree. See you all next time.